Shalom. Call halal Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahweh Shah, Ba'ashim Kadash. Double honors to the elder apostles of GMS, including the elders that came before them that taught us his truth. Shalom and salutations to all the Akim out pushing the word in truth and in sincerity. My brother Yahshua, I'm back with another lesson. Okay, and as we measure the time diligently, we're just gonna give a short run up, or what we're gonna do is connect the dots in this case, let you know where this thing is going, because after that verdict yesterday tells us a couple of things, that there's a little time left. See, if they would have set Babylon the Great on fire yesterday by giving a non-guilty verdict, we would know how quickly this thing is going to move from there. If Negroes were in the street burning and looting and tearing shit up, this thing would be, moving a lot quicker than it is right now, because nobody seems to, understand what that move was. That was a strategic move, letting you know that they don't want to steamroll at this very moment, all right? So, eventually, this is what everything is coming to, all right? Which is the MOB. It's Revelation 13:16, all right? And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell save that he had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Okay, so this is dealing with money. Okay, buy or sell, unless you got that thing in your hand or in your forehead. That's what it clearly says. So we'll move backwards from there. All right, because we all know what this is. All right, because it's already in your it's in your wallet, it's in your debit card, it's in your credit card. All right, and they got a name for it. They got a reader, right? And they tell you to stick it in there. Put your C in here. Okay, so we already know that. We already know in Sweden that they're already doing this with the NFC reader and all of that. Okay, so we don't have to play. All right, so what we'll do is we'll go backwards. Let's start right here. All right, with this video.
If you're a homeowner and you pay more...
The Epic Economist, April 17th, a couple of days ago. Today is the 21st. Okay. And the title is China preparing a gold-backed digital yuan? Okay. So it doesn't matter what you call it. You call it the dollar, you could call it the ruble, you could call it the rupee. Doesn't matter. It's a number on a screen. Okay. So whatever you call it doesn't make any difference, because this is where they're starting everything. They're already doing this in China, right? Beijing greenlights purchases of billions in bullion. Okay, so they're trying to, fool you into believing that these numbers on the screen have anything to do with gold, and that's bullshit. Okay, what they're doing is they're bringing in the digital monetary system. All right, so that's what this is about. Let's watch a little bit of it, because that directly connects to that C, or what is on your credit card or on your debit card. All right. The hell is this? Okay, skip. All right, so let's check this.
Threatening to put an end to the dollar. Recent evidence shows the Chinese government is getting ready to launch the first central bank digital currency.
That's it. The first central bank digital currency. And everybody's going to have one. Okay? That's the main point. We don't even have to really watch anymore.
Shows the Chinese government is getting ready to launch the first central bank digital currency backed on gold.
Okay, backed on gold doesn't mean anything. All right, what means anything, Slovakia, is digital currency. All right, that's the language we're looking for. Okay, now let's just move on. Okay, because this is where it's all going. You won't be able to buy or sell unless you have digital currency. Now, how are you going to be able to prove that you have digital currency? We just read it out of Revelation 16. 13, 16. All right, so there's that. Because I want to move quick, otherwise we'll be here for a while, and Jake, his attention span is so very low. All right, so how are they going to get that mark in your arm? Well, they're going to start slowly and incrementally. All right, let's go here. Okay, this is
have some sort
Slovakia. This is April 1st. It's a ways back. Why you can be forced to get the CV. All right. What is this? Is this it? Looks like it is. Okay, so let me take this back. Okay. Why you can be forced to get the CV. This is CNBC. All right. And this goes back to the 1st of April. But it's important information. All right. Because they're talking about making you do this. He causeth all. All right. Here's how you're going to cause it.
Americans are getting vaccinated against the coronavirus.
The U.S., the most vaccinated large nation in the world. Dozens of countries are now working to vaccinate their populations in an effort to end the global pandemic.
President Biden says that by the end of his first 100 days, the United States is aiming to have administered 200 million doses. And by May 2021, every American adult...
May 2021 was 2 days ago. Wait, today's the 21st. So that was yesterday. Okay? This was at the Slovakia. Right, this was at the beginning of April. Is this May? Slovakia. This is April. Slovakia. 4. Okay, so we got a whole month. Slovakia. Let me get myself oriented here. Okay, so this is April. Okay. This is April 20th, Hitler's birthday. All right, so we got a whole month, is what they're talking about. So let's continue on.
Once one will be eligible to get in line for a shot. That said, 30% of U.S. adults still don't want to get the COVID vaccine.
Okay, so what they just said, they said by May 20th. Guess what? They pushed it up a whole month. All right, and we'll get to that.
Be eligible to get in line for a shot. That's...
Hold on, let me take it back.
Doses. And by May 2021, every American adult who wants one will be eligible to get in line for a shot. That said, 30% of U.S. adults still don't want to get the COVID vaccine, but they may not have much of a choice.
The federal government can require vaccination and things like that for coming in and out of the country. Both the state and city can have vaccine laws based on their legislative authority.
Requiring a vaccine is a health and safety work rule, and employers can do that.
Bonnie Jacobson knows this all too well. The Brooklyn resident was recently let go from her job after refusing to get inoculated.
I was sitting at home and I all of a sudden just opened an email. I'm sitting on my couch and it said, basically, while we respect your decision at this time, your employment has been terminated.
So can you actually be forced to take the COVID vaccine against your will in the United States? To be clear, the White House's chief medical advisor has already said that he doesn't think the federal government will ever make the COVID vaccine mandatory. However, powers at the city and state level, not to mention the legal rights granted to him.
The language was, he doesn't think. He knows. He went around answering it by saying, I don't know, but you do know. So you lied, basically. Listen to that again. Listen to the language.
Clear, the White House's chief medical advisor has already said that he doesn't think the federal government will ever make the COVID vaccine mandatory.
Lie. Okay? And that's all you got to do. All right? Of course they're going to make it mandatory. All right? So let's get out of there. All right? This dude's lying about everything. All right? First of all, it's not a vaccine. It's experimental gene therapy. All right? So, calling it a vaccine. They even tell you themselves that it's not a vaccine. All right, so let's move to the next one. So they will be making it mandatory. If he would have came right out and said, we won't, all right? See, they lie right here and say, won't be mandatory in U.S. He didn't say that. He says he doesn't think they will ever. All right, so that's conflicting right there. Letting you know how this devil gets down. See, we understand. We're not ignorant to the wiles of the devil. All right, so now, okay, so they can force you. Now, where are we at with it? We're at passports. After you take it, okay, right here. Max passports. Should people have to prove? Let's look at this.
Became the first to say
This week, the CDC announced about 1 in 4 American adults, some 70 million of us, are...
Okay, no, this is April 11th, a couple of weeks ago. Like a week and a half, probably. It says, max passports. Should people have to prove they got their shots? You see where this thing is going?
fully vaccinated against COVID-19, and around a third of adults have received at least one dose. That news comes as all 50 states now have committed to opening vaccination to anyone 16 and older by next Monday. So as an increasingly vaccinated country heads back out into the world, should we have to prove we've received our shots? In our Sunday Focus, NBC political correspondent Ali Vitale looks into the idea of vaccine passports.
A new pandemic flashpoint. Vaccine passports. Proof that you've gotten the dose, turning from a public health must to a potential fast track to doing just about anything.
I know there's been lots of questions. The government is not now, nor will we be supporting a system that requires Americans to carry a credential.
The federal government may not be making it mandatory, but students returning to universities like Rutgers and Brown will need to show their vaccination records.
Okay, so it's going to start slow, right? But it started already, okay? And in the end, they're going to make everybody do everything, all right? So what they're doing is they're trying to sneak it into place, all right? Let's get the next one, all right? Which would be, okay, let's go here real quick.
Iceland has become the first European country to issue COVID-19 vaccination certificates.
Okay, this is the case against C19 passport, okay? February 11th. See the time frames we're working with?
Document allows vaccinated people to travel freely within the country. International travelers who arrive in Iceland don't have to spend time in quarantine if they can produce a similar document confirming they've been inoculated. Iceland expects to vaccinate a majority of adults by mid-2021. Several other European countries are also preparing their own so-called vaccination passports. The WHO is working on a vaccine certification program that could be rolled out globally. And the news does come with some concerns. Katrina Plumondon is.
Now we're going to listen to Katrina, and I'm looking for some specific words she's going to say, all right? Because what she's doing is she's being very careful about what she's letting out of her mouth so as to keep her job, not to alarm anyone, but she's going to say something very specific that wasn't even asked. They're talking about a piece of paper, okay? And she's going to say digital, okay? They're not even speaking on nothing digital, but she's going to sneak that language in there because she's actually against it. You can tell by her body language, her facial expression, she's against the whole thing. So listen to how she talks.
Expert in health equity. She's an assistant professor at the University of British Columbia, Okanagan, and she joins us now from Kelowna to share her thoughts. Hi, Katrina. Thanks for being with us on Canada Tonight.
Thank you for having me.
So, what do you make of this? What's your reaction to hearing that Iceland is the first to do this?
Yeah, it was an interesting story to read today. I think that it's not the first time that we've heard this suggestion of an idea about having some sort of a passport or documentation as a tool to open up access to movement and travel in particular. Iceland has a lot of its industry is grounded in tourism, and so it's understandable that they would have interest in it, but I think it does raise some really complex questions about issues of equity and issues of fairness in terms of who has access to vaccine and what those travel documents actually do in terms of resolving some of the very profound inequities that the COVID pandemic has revealed last year.
Right. And I want to talk about that in a second, but let me ask first, is this something that you see Canada doing in the future, and should we?
I certainly think there will be some conversations and maybe some dinner table conversations about this in the days or weeks to come, but I'm not sure that this is really where Canada should be placing its attention right now. I think there's way bigger questions in front of Canadians, and over the last couple of weeks, the issue of vaccine has been really a pressing issue and a pretty hot topic. There's a lot of political pressure around vaccine distribution, and I think issues of equity and vaccine distribution are far more pressing than trying to figure out some sort of a digital document that might allow us to move a bit more freely. I think there are bigger questions
That was it. A digital. Nobody said nothing about a digital document. Digital document would be the C. Okay. Now you can tell that she's against the whole thing because she's aware. All right. She could be a Jake because she's sending out, right, the proper information. She's letting you know where this thing is going. Okay. Watch a little more.
Going to take priority before this will be.
I'm going to let you hear her say that one more time, okay? Digital document. Nobody said nothing about a digital document. All right, she brought that up.
And vaccine distribution are far more pressing than trying to figure out some sort of a digital document that might allow us to move a bit more freely. I think there are.
Okay, so that digital document goes right into being able to buy and sell. Okay, all right. So enough on that. Let's go to the next one. As you can see, the trail. Okay. Now Canada, they're over there fighting right now. Right? About being able to move freely. Okay, forced, prove. Okay, so how are we going to get to the digital? How are we going to move from the paper document to having to use a digital document? Okay? I'm gonna have to read this one, all right? Okay, so it's this goes all the way back to March 24th, okay? And the title of this is Crux. The site is called Crux. Fake C19 Max certificate sale in the darknet increases fear of cross-border whatever, okay? So now, here comes this. Here comes the counterfeit. It's easy to counterfeit that paper, all right? That piece of paper, which is gonna force them to move to a digital certificate. What is a digital certificate? What the hell is that? That you must have to prove that you take. See, this is how they get that thing in your arm, and really it's about money. Okay? They're using the healthcare system to get that thing in your arm, which is, is diabolically genius. All right? So let's go back here. And I'm going to have to read this, so bear with me. All right, it says, countries around the world are accelerating in the V process to win the fight against the V. Many countries are planning to introduce V passport to ease travel with the aim to ensure only those with that thing can travel. So now how do you do that? You need that passport. V passport is a document which acts as proof that the holder took it and can travel. But contrary to popular belief, this has given birth to a new industry, sale of fake. Look how well this is done. All right, this ain't some dude saying that, oh, well, and they're not speaking, all right? They're using script so that this doesn't get pulled down, right? Or a strike or whatever. Because what they're doing is they're pushing it out there and being ambiguous about who produced this fine work, all right? Look at the production value of this. So it's being pushed out. Real soon you're going to see nothing but, oh, they're faking, this is counterfeit. Oh, we have to move to the next step. These fake documents allow buyers to masquerade as you got that thing. This is going to be commonplace. It's going, oh, they're what do you call it? Counterfeit. They're counterfeiting. They're counterfeiting. They're going to push it. Whether anybody is counterfeiting or not, they're going to push that narrative real hard, forcing you to go to the next step, which is the C. Apart from fake VDocs, even test results are being sold. Come on. You see where this is going. How does the scam work? Okay, so that's all we need on this, all right? You see where this is going. So they're going to start pushing this real hard. Oh, well, they're counterfeiting. They're counterfeiting the paper. We have to go to the next step. All right, that's how they get you on it. All right, now this is starting to get long. So, all right, so what we're going to do now is show you that in Canada, okay, this one says the only way to normalcy. Yeah, they're using that. Okay, so let's just get these real quick. This is in Canada.
The cases of COVID-19 variants across the province are increasing very rapidly. In fact, today we recorded in Ontario more than 3,200 cases, which is the single highest daily increase since mid-January, when the second wave was at its peak. ICUs are overwhelmed across the province, so much so that in Toronto, a children's hospital decided to open up a special ICU in order to take adult patients in. So that is the situation. Schools are also closed until mid-April in Ontario. And as you said, it's the variants that are driving this super high increase in cases. Now, the province of Ontario is banking on these quiet days, these days where people are encouraged to only go out of their houses for essential purposes only. So just to go buy groceries or go to the doctor. They are hoping that this will give them some time to vaccinate more people. In fact, they're actually expanding their vaccine eligibility for more people over 18 years old. But experts are saying that the third wave is outpacing the current vaccination rate. So it is a very worrisome situation.
Okay, so this is April 8th, all right, 2 weeks ago. So you can see exactly what's going on. And now, because of them lockdowns, and lockdowns are coming right back here to the good old Babylon the Great, all right? All right, so one more, and we'll get some precepts. We'll go ahead and close out. Because it's just going to cause havoc, all right? Here's what's coming. Every adult is now eligible. This is April 19th. All right, so this happened the other day. Let's see. Let's get this. This is in Germany. Because it's happening all over the world. They're protesting. They're locking it down. Look at the masks.
Also ich bin hier für eine rigorose Vorgehensweise des Rechtsstaates. Hier muss man allen Anfängen die Stirn bieten. Und ich bin auch dafür, dass wir diesen Trend, den es im Moment gibt, auch bis zum Ziel führen, nämlich dass diese Szene nicht nur in den Blick genommen wird, sondern als Beobachtungsobjekt der Verfassungsschutzbehörden eingestuft wird.
Grundsätzlich ist es so, bevor wir über Öffnungsschritte sprechen können, auch mit möglichen Tests dann halt begleitet, müssen wir erstmal mit den Inzidenzen runter. Wir müssen einfach diese Infektionen jetzt gerade in den Griff bekommen. Wir müssen einfach die Kliniken entlasten und wir müssen einfach die Zahlen der Neuansteckungen drastisch senken, bevor wir halt tatsächlich über Lockerungen nachdenken können.
Und wenn At this point, the people know that this is not about, it's not about medical. This is about forcing you to do what they want you to do, which is eventually it all comes down to money, because businesses are being gutted, right? Restaurants are being gutted, is messing with people's money. All right, this is April 19th, which is, 2 days ago? Okay? Rallies against CV restrictions held across Germany, all right? And I know this is running long. Let me try to get one more, because it's everywhere, all right? They're like, this is Canada.
Has said that he
violent.
Let's see.
The Quebec government...
This is the 12th of April, so this is 2 weeks ago, 1.5.
is facing a new challenge, trying to contain the pandemic. Violence over the Montreal area's new earlier curfew. Video into us last night from Old Montreal. Hundreds of people, most of them young, many without masks. They'd all crowded into the neighborhood in defiance of the new rule that would have had them off the streets at 8 p.m. The province has rolled the curfew back an hour and a half from 9:30 p.m. where it had been. Quebec Premier François Legault calls the earlier curfew in Montreal and Laval a precaution to stop the spread of the most contagious variants pushing up cases in the province. John Northcott is going to lead our coverage of all of this. John, the scene that unfolded last night. Let's look at more video for us this morning.
Yeah, indeed, Heather. We can show you the extra video that we're getting as well and tell you that this morning there will be some sweeping up to do with what we understand were dozens of plate glass windows broken by the protesters, a number of garbage fires set as well that police put out with extinguishers. And we're getting word this morning from Montreal Transit authorities that 3 buses were damaged in the events that took place last night. However, they are quick to point out their personnel, their employees, were not injured in any of the damage that was done to the buses. But this is a situation where you have the chanting coming from the crowd, freedom for the young. This with the potential fines between 1,000 and 6,000 as they took to the streets. This assessment being made of all that's gone on there from Dr. Christopher Labos just a few minutes ago. Have a listen.
Lack of self-awareness that has to go into that, to not realize how tenuous the situation is, to start chanting things like free the young, when you realize at the beginning of this pandemic, many senior citizens who are living in long-term care facilities weren't allowed to go outside, weren't allowed to leave their rooms for.
So they got their work cut out for them to try to, pull this thing off. All right, so let's get this real quick. This is Psalms 21 and 11. All right. For they intend evil against thee. They imagined a mischievous device which they are not able to perform. Okay? All right. This is Psalm 59 and 2. Deliver me from the workers of iniquity and save me from bloody men. Okay, these guys, they're trying to bring in their NWO. And you have to bow down or become their slave. And how do you do that? They have to pierce you. You have to take an oath. And that oath goes back to them causing all. This is what they're doing right now. They're trying to cause all. All right. And then we'll go ahead and close up after this. Back to this, where we started. Revelation 13:60. He causeth all. It's about everybody in the world, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead. All right, and that no man might buy or sell, save that he hath the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Okay, so with that, I hope that the pieces of the puzzle came together. And I mean, this has been happening. We've been doing this. This is nothing new, this lesson. But here we are after the verdict yesterday that was supposed to mean so much. All right. So as we can see, it's going to take a little longer because they're trying to bring this mark in through the back door, right? By distracting you with things like, you know, the race wars and the other, you know, distractions that they're trying to put before you. But this is really the end game, is to try to get that thing, you know, inside of you. And they're doing it through, you know, the medicals. They're coming in through the medical door to get that thing inside your body. What are they doing with the max? They're pushing it in you with a needle. Well, what are they going to do with that digital certificate? They're going to push it in you with a needle. All right, with an awl, so to speak. All right. So with that, hope that the elect were edified. Sorry about the length, and until next time, shalom.